thanks to everyone that's joining. This session is not going to be a technical session. This is going to be more of a theological session about religious matters like frameworks and that sort of thing, more on the operational side, right? So the session is called Why xOps Matters. It is a bit of an overview of what's sort of starting to become more important in the agile world. And just as an introduction, my name is Andreas Bergstedt. I am a data and AI global black belt specialist at Microsoft, working with the signups product teams with cloud scale analytics. If you want to connect to me on Twitter, you can do so through the link on screen, and also connect with me on LinkedIn. Please reach out and ask me anything, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. So, if we think about xOps, sorry, my notes are not displaying. If we think about xOps, so I have a technical problem. Just give me 1 second, and I'm going to try to fix it quickly. I need to solve. My presentation mode isn't working.
No worries, we can pad for you. It's absolutely fine.
Cool.
So, everyone else is having a good day? We're not going to get into the dad jokes just yet. You know, when I ran out of material.
I was seriously. I was very, very happy to see David's presentation. Dedicated SQL pools getting some love and some attention.
I can't legitimately pimp my session, can I, on Tuesday night?
No, you can't. No, you can.
You can.
No,
of course you can. Go for it.
It would seem terrible and such an egregious overuse of power. When you're ready, Andreas.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the sharing up and going.
All right, just shout when you want, and we'll just talk and make up stuff.
Right.
I can just evict you from the meeting, Mark. You know that, don't you?
Well, we've been going for 7.5 hours so far, so.
Right. So I think I'm good to go.
Great.
Right. So let's get back into it. So, what is xOps? What does what problems does it try to solve? So, let's start by looking at where xOps comes from. So, with this sort of event of Agile many moons ago, a whole bunch of operational frameworks or stacks have come around, like DevOps, DataOps, ModelOps, and MLOps, etc. And in March this year, or well, late February, beginning March, last year, Gartner named xOps as being, in its sort of top 10 data and analytics trends for 2021. And I sort of picked this one up, and I wondered, what is xOps? And I thought, it sounds like, everyone's trying to just coalesce everything into one operational pattern, but that's actually not true. And you'll see this if you start searching for, what is xOps, you get a whole bunch of different conflicting sort of patterns, but some of the most common ones is related to the data landscape and sort of data patterns, and having sort of breaking down silos between what is DataOps, what is MLOps, etc. But it goes wider than that. So xOps sets out to bridge the sort of the cultural and organizational divide in a business by creating a sort of a framework that allows an organization to leverage agile patterns or agile ops patterns or ops stacks in the core of the business and not just in the software side, but also you'll see new ops frameworks or stacks that are coming out, like people ops for human resources, or RevOps for revenue building, etc. You get a whole bunch of those. So if we look at sort of what xOps wants to bring, it wants to sort of if we take that to paradigm of what's happening in sort of the data landscape. So if we think about sort of data mesh as a data architecture, it sort of speaks to domain, decentralized ownership of data, whereas xOps, has the same sort of vision. We want to have common tools and cultures, and that's how we work forward. So I jumped a little bit ahead. So just like a natural yogurt is full of fantastic bacterial culture, so is xOps. And what do we mean by this? So if we take the human resources division or team, if they were to adopt an agile pattern or agile routines like daily stand-ups, sprint plannings, sprint retros, and regular sort of review and release and demo sessions, and it's, think about it, HR could. They could have their policies that they plan to develop and build, and then they could do daily retros and routines on that. But it would, if they do that, they would also get the same working habits of the core IT team or the data services team that's already running a platform operations or a DevOps shop, and in that way, they would get the similar sort of cultural context, so that they'd be able to relate to each other culturally because they would be using the same pattern. And there's one answer to, or one of the problems that xOps set to solve. The second one is around tooling. So if we think about a CNC tool changer for a CNC machine, so you have a central or a single piece of machinery that have different tools that can achieve the same thing, and that's the idea with xOps. It's to provide the same sort of collaboration tools, planning tools like Azure DevOps, for instance. So you have DevOps boards where you can plan your activities, you can run your your planning, you can iterate, you can run your stand-ups collaboratively. You have a common wiki. So, for instance, if all departments have their own DevOps projects or DevOps organizations, they could share common tool sets, and that this gives you great power because it means that if you have a and I'm going to, I guess, use a data scientist as an example. So let's say you have a data scientist that used to belong to the core IT team, and he used to build out or train models and release these out into to the apps. And there is all of a sudden a need in the HR team for a data scientist. He could easily move with his MLOps stack patterns and then really easily integrate into the HR team's agile patterns, and they would sort of speak the same, have the same tool set, and be able to integrate really simply, right? So that is the second challenge, and the third one is that of integration and security. So if we think about the integration aspects, so we really I quickly talked about that. So because of similarity in tools and habits, the integration of staff to be fluent between so different staff be fluent between different teams within a business or an organization, it really solves that sort of problem. The other one is also sort of the governance and security of this. So if you've got common tool sets, it's easy for core IT to govern and manage a set sort of a fixed set of tools instead of having to worry about different tool sets. So it sort of simplifies the tool management as well. Cool. So in summary, and I'm almost out of time. So in summary, what is that? How does xOps affect me, and what does it want to bring to you? So increased resource flexibility, that's the one. Better cross-domain collaboration inside of an organization. Increased business agility, and the strong focus on delivery of value. So Agile's focus is to deliver value, right? So that is sort of the core thing. The other thing is also to break down the silos within teams, and this is something that plagues data teams specifically in organizations. They're always siloed and have specific focuses, whereas now they can be a little bit more fluent to the data domains that they can be assigned to. Cool, and that's me. Thank you very much.